Support for this episode of PBS Reno Arts is provided by the Nevada Arts Council. Arts and creativity make us stronger, fueling innovation, prosperity, and thriving communities across Nevada. They boost our economy, promote well-being, and enhance education, empowering Nevadans of all ages. The Nevada Arts Council nurtures these essential creative forces. Together, let's elevate the arts in every corner of our great state. More at nvartscouncil.org. This is PBS Reno Arts. I'm Dave Santina in the studio of PBS Reno in Reno, Nevada. And you're listening to music that is the theme song for the show ARTEFFECTS on PBS Reno. And with me is the person who's making that show happen right now, Rebecca Cronon. Hi.
Hi, Dave.
Thanks for giving me a half hour-ish of your time today.
Welcome.
I appreciate it. We are in the middle of season 11. It started in October for ARTEFFECTS, and right now you are the person who's generating everything for that show. Beth Macmillan, we all know and love, is our host, but I don't know if people are aware. Beth comes in, does the host segments, and then the rest of the time it's you making the stories. And so season 11 has begun. It started in October, and you've done 2 already. Can you tell me, just for those who haven't already seen them, tell us what we've got so far, and we can direct people to them.
Absolutely. So season 11 launched in October 2025. We had 2 new episodes. The first episode featured a brand new segment on the brand new expansion at the Nevada Museum of Art. This massive expansion involving $60 million and a ton of funders and many, many beautiful interactive exhibits and education spaces and workshops, and just a huge expansion for the museum. And so that was a really nice way for us to be able to profile that.
And that gives them the opportunity to bring more of an education element into the museum. They already were focused on education to a degree, but this allows them to do so much more, right?
Absolutely. It allows them to do so much more and do a lot more with kids, which is not only remarkable and wonderful, but it also really aligns with what we do here at PBS Reno when we're not on the air. We do all of our workshops with QRSU Classroom. So just very aligned, like-minded initiatives.
We had Colin Robertson in. He's the person who spearheaded that whole expansion, and he came in and talked about it earlier, and it was really fascinating, the things that they're doing. And so for those of you who have not seen it yet, it's episode 1101, which we consider season 11, episode 1. That's the number system. So go to our YouTube channel and you can watch it there, right?
Absolutely. Yes. The very first segment was not only posted to our website, pbsreno.org, it was also posted to our YouTube channel. And what's really nice is about 4 days before each brand new episode of ARTEFFECTS broadcasts, we take the local segment that's also brand new. We post that to our YouTube channel 4 days early, just to give people a taste of what's to come, and also isolate the segment as well, because a lot of times we will broadcast national arts-based content as well, and this just allows us to just highlight the best stuff from Reno.
Cool. So you can watch the local stories on the PBS Reno YouTube channel. Speaking of YouTube, we did a compilation episode the week after the premiere. So if it was our second episode, all of the segments are available on YouTube. This was a special one because it referenced YouTube. Most popular YouTube stories, right?
Absolutely. Yes. The second episode of season 11 that aired featured our 4 top viewed segments on YouTube. And the first of which is the steampunk episode that aired many years back, but it just has gathered a huge amount of viewership over the years due to it being shared, the steampunk community just taking notice of the segment.
Is that maybe influenced by burners who look at that as a pre-Burning Man prep?
I would think so. I mean, the steampunk community is quite interesting because it's the merging of Victorian and industrial, and people can dress amazingly in the art, and it just looks like a very playful way to be expressive, which fits nicely with Burning Man. But that segment just exploded on YouTube.
It's super popular. Yeah, it's funny the things that you watch on TV at home versus the things you watch online. You never know where the audience is coming from, and that steampunk story, we've been talking about it for a couple of years now, about how many people have watched it on YouTube, and that's exciting to know that there is a whole new audience for these stories that aren't necessarily watching them on television.
Right. And then when we do these we do produce the new segments. They only air once, and then they'll get repeated maybe half a year later. So unless people are actively searching for them, they're going to miss them unless they're watching us precisely on Sunday nights at 6:30 p.m. on PBS Reno. So that segment from Steampunk was produced right before I started with the Artifacts project, but that was produced nearly 10 years ago. It debuted in, I think, the spring of 2016. So it's just wild to me that 10 years later, it's just still getting this trajectory.
Yeah, that's the value of the digital platform, I guess. So who else, what are the other stories that were in that YouTube compilation that are available online?
Yeah, so in addition to the steampunk segment, we had Sabrina Fry, who is an artist, a lovely artist out of Gardnerville. We met her through the Reno Tahoe International Art Show, and she creates mosaics out of hundreds of thousands, probably at this point millions of tiny, tiny glass beads. And so I think she shared her segment with her bead community, and same thing. People are just amazed by her work, and that led to a lot of sharing. So
that exploded. It's funny. I didn't make the connection. Sabrina Fry is the name of the artist, and I remember her, but the story I think was called Glass Beads, and so I'm used to seeing glass beads on PBS Reno's website or YouTube channel, and it has all these views, and that makes sense because it's incredible to see. And again, if you haven't looked at it, go to PBS Reno's YouTube channel and look up glass beads from the Artifacts playlist. Yeah. You'll find it, and it's fantastic. And so those are two of the four that we have in the compilation. Who are the other two?
And then the other two are Juliette Leong. She is a wonderful, beautiful violinist and artist, and she's not even 10 years old. So I don't know. She better step it up. I don't know.
She's done a lot in a very short time.
Yeah. So her trajectory is just amazing, and she was so sweet, and her family is wonderful, and just that was a joy to produce. One of our former producers, Guinevere, and I produced that segment about 2 years ago. So Juliette Leong, and her father has a lot of connections in the world of like the Reno Phil and other philanthropic and artistic endeavors, and so that segment got a lot of viewership, almost mainly because he shared that story so much with his community, and that amassed a lot of views. So altogether, these four stories. Oh, by the way, the fourth story is Raymond Kinman, and he's a wood carver out of the Grass Valley area, so about 90 minutes west of Reno, and he carved a lot of the wooden signs that people will see at Disneyland. And so we learned that, hey, there's this wood carver in Grass Valley. Oh my gosh, he did that Disneyland carving of Winnie the Pooh. Oh my gosh, we have to see if he's down for a story. Thankfully he was, and we made a nice journey and got to learn all about his hippie culture and turned wood carver, and just a delightful man with a lot more stories to tell that we weren't able to fit into the segment. But that's the fourth story.
I love it. Raymond Kinman. So those are all available. So so you've got the networking is such a big part of the YouTube audience. So Raymond Kinman has the Disney Nation behind him, because people who love everything Disney are going to share that story, and so that's how these go viral.
Yeah, all kinds of different reasons.
It's incredible. So go online to PBS Reno's YouTube channel to check out the NMA expansion story, and then those four that were already out on YouTube and have become so popular. And now what I really wanted to talk about is the story that you're working on that's coming up. This is a December story, but you've had to work on it for quite a while in advance because of the subject, but it has a very holiday theme to it, right?
Yes. So for the first time in its 55-year history, the U.S. Capitol Christmas tree is coming from Nevada. So for 55 years, different states have been selected to provide the Capitol Christmas tree that will be on the west lawn of the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. And a couple years back, Nevada was selected to provide the tree for the year of 2025. So the tree came from Humboldt-Tiobe National Forest, and it's either currently en route or it's just about there, arriving in the nation's capital. And the reason why it's on Artefacts is because in a multi partnership and an endeavor, schools and people who sew and people who knit all created ornaments and tree skirts and all kinds of lovely artistic decorations to adorn the tree. And so that's the Artefacts twist.
So we're going to learn about those tree decorations and the stories behind all of them.
Yes. Not super in depth. I mean, the story is relatively on the shorter side. Maybe 5 minutes. It's still being worked on, but we do learn about the artistry and the different layers that made this project come to life.
So it's not complete yet, but you're still in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So what has struck you about this story? What are you going to remember about it?
Just how passionate I think everybody was about the project, whether it's little kids writing poems to try to be the person who gets selected to read a poem during the lighting of the tree, whether it's people just making ornaments, because every ornament's unique. Not every ornament is spectacular, but maybe every ornament is spectacular because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Yep. Everybody has a different opinion on what makes art, but to me, the act of creating art does make you an artist. It doesn't matter anybody else's opinion, really, at the end of the day. But what's really nice is just the community of artists who came together. Seasoned artists came together to make ornaments. Little kids made art and ornaments for the trees. So just this huge community of people who really are excited, uniquely excited, and together excited about the whole project. And just everybody played a different role in making it come to life. And
That's
it'll be
fun.
really cool to see the tree lit.
Yeah, that's really exciting. So, and that's coming up, I guess, well, I guess it's not too far from now. We're recording this on November 14th. Mm-hmm. It'll be posted on November 17th, Monday. And then
about a month
week
later,
from now, we're in the holiday season. And
yep.
so, yeah, this will be in D.C.
Yep. And so we are acquiring some footage because we're actively not on the tree route at the moment. It's called the Whistle Stop Tour. We are not participating in that journey, nor are we collecting footage, but our friend Chris DeFranco is. And so we are acquiring a little bit of footage to polish off the story to be able to finalize the story. But I believe our Artifact story featuring the U.S. Capitol Christmas tree ornaments will air Sunday, December 21st, but I might have that date off.
Well, keep an eye on your local listings to get the date exactly right. The person you mentioned, Chris DeFranco, he
Yes.
is someone who was in this studio and sitting in the same chair you're in not too long ago on a Wild Nevada Cast podcast talking about producing a show called Outdoor Nevada that is produced by Vegas PBS. But Chris is the producer of the show himself. He is doing a documentary project, which is where the footage is coming to share with you guys on the Artifacts team, and his documentary is also on the same, not on the same subject. It's on the sort of the grander tree itself, right?
Yep, his documentary will be super in depth as far as the very beginning of the tree selection, how it all went down to the very final moment when the tree is lit. And so our goal with the Artifact story is not necessarily to condense the whole idea of Chris's film, which we had already started anyway, but we're focusing more on the art and the collaborativeness behind the project. But Chris's documentary will be all about how it all came to be, which is really, really nice. And in our Artifacts segment, we will be promoting it, the fact that we get to broadcast it right here on PBS Reno too.
Yeah, and I think that's a nice double feature. You've got the long form documentary, and it's got, what's the title?
Of Chris's documentary.
Of the documentary.
I believe it's called From Nevada.
From Nevada. So
Yeah.
look for that, and then watch the Artifacts story on the decorations that everybody's putting together to go with the tree. The tree itself was in Carson City, I believe, for the Nevada Day Parade, and
Yes.
I never did see it. We were there
because
we actually were in the parade, but we were near the back, and so we stood around for a few hours
We probably missed it, yeah.
waiting for our turn to go and walk down the 2 miles, and I think it probably was early on.
I think it was within the first 10 entries. So yeah, but we have footage of it, thankfully.
Oh, nice. I'll have to go and visit your edit suite and see that footage later.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So looking forward to Artifacts going forward. The rest of season 11 is coming.
Yeah.
Do you have some favorite ideas that you're pursuing? Nothing is concrete, I imagine, at this point.
We have one concrete idea that's coming up right after U.S. Capitol Christmas Tree Project. It's a segment featuring a local artist named Jill Altman who makes fabrics and creates dyes out of her garden, out of vegetables and fruits and all kinds of different mixtures. Yes.
Edible dyes?
Edible dyes.
Maybe.
So
I wouldn't try it. I wouldn't eat them.
I mean, I guess you could if you had nothing else. if you had to. But yeah, we've already visited Jill in her home in South Reno, and she had a garden, and we already filmed her harvesting all the different concoctions that she uses to make her dyes and her beautiful scarves and blankets and all kinds of different fabrics. We haven't set the interview yet, but we're planning to interview her in January. But that way we have the harvesting footage, because when we want to film her in January, there will be nothing to harvest.
Right.
Thankfully, it's all shot. So that's one of our next concrete story ideas. But the stories don't necessarily all get planned and selected at the beginning of a season. A good chunk of them are, because a lot of them are must-dos, we have to do's, we are going to do this. Others are ideas that we want to do, and sometimes they come to fruition, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they get shelved for a later time because of the project and what's happening. But I look at Artefacts as we want to make sure we have a huge variety. We don't want all painters. We don't want all musicians. We definitely want a variety, though. Like, we will look at the different methods of art and make sure that we have enough of a variety of, yes, of course, we have a painter or two. Yes, of course, we have a musician. What haven't we done? Like, have we talked to somebody who creates something that we haven't focused on before? What's eye-catching? Or at the end of the day, too, who has a really good story to tell, who has maybe overcome some barriers to get to where they are, and who can make really cool things, and what would be fun to film, too. So from a producer standpoint, I think of, if it's fun to film, it's going to be fun to put together. And if it's fun to put together, it'll be fun for the viewer. If you're filming something and if it's boring, well, your viewer may not think the same way. They might feel the same way too. If it's boring to produce or boring to film, or I'm not saying artists are boring. Everybody is interesting. However, some people are able to show their craft a little bit more vibrantly than others.
Sure.
But if you're having, I guess at the end of the day, if you're having fun filming, which is almost any time, because filming is very, very fun. If you are enjoying what you're filming or producing, then odds are the viewers are going to appreciate that and notice.
That makes sense. Yeah. And it's fun to make TV.
True.
You can't deny it. It's sometimes easier than others to, as you say, to capture certain art forms, because not every art form lends itself to video. We've done a few writers over the years, and writers
That's
are
challenging.
tough to tell the story, because sitting and writing is not very visually dynamic. So you find ways to work with it. But
that's when you have to put the creative mind even more on the forefront, and you have to try to not show video only of them typing or only video of them writing, because you need a little bit of that to set the scene of what they're doing. But you could dissolve very, very slowly to video of what they are writing or typing about. And so if you can try to mimic what they are trying to encourage you as the reader to picture, then you're maybe beefing up their original story. So if they're writing about a story, and if you are able to create visuals for the viewer, that's really nice.
Well said. You sound like a producer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and that's just one of your many duties here. You do the Artefacts. You're the public information officer here at the station.
Yeah.
You're involved in the pledge production. You're putting together the membership drive that's coming in December. Don't forget to give.
Yes.
Don't forget to support public television.
Support PBS Reno.
But you wear many hats, and so I'm impressed that you can get those headphones on, all of those hats on your head.
Yeah, my head hurts.
I'm so sorry. Well, thank you for coming and talking about this.
You're welcome.
I look forward to both the From Nevada documentary from Krista Franco and Vegas PBS, and then the story that you're putting together for Artefacts. So look for them both this December. The Artifact story will certainly appear on our YouTube channel, at the PBS Reno YouTube channel, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for coming in and giving us a little Artefacts
You're welcome.
update.
Thank you, Dave.
All right. Before we go, I got to remind everybody to watch Artefacts on PBS Reno. That's via broadcast or streaming on pbsreno.org or the PBS Reno YouTube channel, which we have mentioned, or the PBS app. Also, read art views at pbsreno.org. And now I have a question. I have a question for you. Do you have a question for me? A comment or a suggestion? If so, please send them to me at podcasts@pbsreno.org. My thanks to Rebecca Cronon, and thank you for listening to PBS Reno Arts. Support for this episode of PBS Reno Arts is provided by the Nevada Arts Council. Arts and creativity make us stronger, fueling innovation, prosperity, and thriving communities across Nevada. They boost our economy, promote well-being, and enhance education, empowering Nevadans of all ages. The Nevada Arts Council nurtures these essential creative forces. Together, let's elevate the arts in every corner of our great state. More at nvartscouncil.org.